everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to give you a few updates on what's going on, what we've been doing. You've pretty much seen the videos, but I figure it's good to give you an overall view every once in a while. Yesterday we cut some trees and we opened this up, which is good because my clothesline is now open. But even more importantly, we cut them because over where that compost bin is over there, we had a building and we wanted to use it because it wasn't being useful where it was. So we had to cut 3 trees down to be able to move the building because we dragged it this way. So now we have opened it up considerably, and the benefit of that is our garden is getting a lot more sun than it ever did. So the good news is this awesome garden that was here when we bought the house is now nice and bright and sunny because we had a lot of problems with it. We could not grow tomatoes in it. It did not go well because it did not get the sun that it needed. So now we have that. And then we have our composters, which I talked about. Ryan's been cleaning up this area. That's why we've got some piles. And then we've got the laying coop. And today what we did was added a tire and made a dust bath out of it. But as you can see, the girls don't use the dust bath. I don't know if you'll be able to see them here, but instead they use this as a dust bath, even though they have one. But we did give them one, and I'll show you what that looks like. And what we did was we used some dry, loose dirt and then mixed in some sweet barn lime. Right there, and they're ignoring it, and instead they're digging big craters out there. Crazy chickens. You see that? I don't know if you can see that chicken all the way down there next to the white dog. I have that dog statue. And why I use it is they perch on it and it makes me laugh. So instead of me throwing it out, I figured I'd give it to them and let them use it till it rots, and then I'll get rid of it. And then over here this is the other side of the laying coop. And this barn was also here, and that's what we use for our feed and everything. And then we have this area back here. And we cleaned this barn out. We did a video on it. I'll put a card up here. And we were going to use it for turkeys. Then we thought, well, maybe we'll use it for Sherman because that was the time we got him. However, we think it's too far for him and he can't see the other pigs, and so we don't like that. So we are going to use it for turkeys, and we're just waiting on the kits to come in. We went through our local feed store, and he does special orders once a month, so I'm not in a hurry because we still have work to do here. And so they may be here in April or they may be here in May. Not a big deal for us, no rush. And then this whole area we will end up making a run out of for the 4 turkeys. Not the whole area, but enough for here for like a run. And then if you come back around, that's the back of our pig barn that we built. And again, this is our meat bird coop. But right now we're using it for Sherman, who is loving every minute of it. But now he's getting too big, and we knew he would, which is not a big deal. So what we did, like we did in our last video, I want to see if I can get closer. He's enjoying the sun. It's like 57 degrees today. It's beautiful. So what we've done is moved the building, like I told you earlier, back here, and that's now right here. And we ordered some Premier One electric fencing. So we're going to level that up, firm it up, clean it out, and get that ready. But we do have to wait until the fencing comes, because when the fencing comes, as long as we can get it in the ground and the ground isn't frozen, we'll be good. So that's what we're waiting on now. And then we'll be able to get him moved because he's quickly growing out of that. And then right next door, because now Sherman will be able to see Maggie and Winston, as long as they're here. When Maggie and Winston are no longer here and they get processed, we will then put another pig in here. But here's Maggie and Winston. Maggie's the closest one to us. Winston is sitting down. And so that's their yard. And of course, like typical pigs, they have rooted it up. As the weather gets warmer, we will make sure they have a waller. But right now they've been doing just fine. Hasn't been hot enough, so it's not an issue. But they're getting big. And then we call this the farm store. This is all the scraps that we use, which comes in handy. But we're going to look to get Sherman a female Kuni, so that way we could do some breeding. Sherman is not registered, but we're not as concerned about that right now because we're really not focused on that right now. We may be in the future, so right now we'll probably end up getting a registered female because that's all we can get from the person we've been talking to, which will be good. You know, but we just want to try our hand at some breeding and see how that goes. We've been researching it and looking into it. So let's go take a look at the raised garden bed. But as you can imagine, it's 57 today. It's not normally this warm here this time of year. So it's not like we're going to be planting anything anytime soon. I think our last frost is the first week in June. So it'll be a while. But as you can see, the snow is starting to go away. We've got some remnants left over, but for the most part, it's gotten a lot better. And here's a better view of where he cut the trees. You can see why we're getting a lot more sunshine, which is fabulous. But there's a nice overview of what we got going on. And over here, this is our hugelkultur raised bed. And that did really well last year, and we've got everything fenced because, as you know, we have a lot of deer. We have to keep it away from them. And right now we have asparagus that we planted last fall in here, so fingers crossed for that. This is one of these is a black raspberry and the other one is a red raspberry. And this is also a raspberry plant. There's our strawberry plants underneath that straw. We won't be taking that off for a while, but I got some good hints on when we can take it off, so that's a good thing. And then over here, we have blueberry bushes. Hard to tell now with all the snow, but it'll be nice to see them come up this year, and hopefully we get some blueberries. Last but not least, we have the chicks in the brooder. I want to get them before they jump up. They're on their little perches, laying away from the light because they're getting so big. The 4 gray ones that you see are 1 week old, and the other ones are 2 weeks old. And what we plan to do is, once they're large enough and fully feathered, we will move them out into the meat bird coop because Sherman will be out of there by now. And then we will wait until they are large enough and then integrate them with our current flock, and we will have a total of 25 chickens. And I think for this year, the animals that we're going to have are 25 laying hens. We have the 2 Mangalitsa, Duroc, and Berkshire crosses for processing. We have Sherman, who is a Kuni boar. We plan to use him as a breeder pig. And then we will also have 4 kits, and they will grow into red bourbon turkeys, which will be really cool. And then we're going to look to get a female for Sherman, another Kuni. In fact, I'm mailing the deposit out for her and waiting for her to be weaned. So that's where we're going to have animal-wise, and then of course we'll have the gardens that we will have short season with, but we will enjoy them. We'll probably start seedlings either this week or during the week or on the weekend. We'll get our seedlings going so that way they're good and strong by the time we put them outside. But again, they're going to be inside for a very long time, so we have to make sure that we have adequate grow lights, because they need to be right under the grow lights and they need to have some source of a breeze. So that way we'll either use a fan or we'll use our hands to mimic a breeze, so that way they don't get leggy. We have had that problem in the past, and even when we've done all that, we still had leggy plants. So we're going to look into a better grow light system for this now. Trying to think what other updates. I mean, you know, lots of building moving, and we've been building buildings this year. So in the past year, we've gone from no animals to all these animals, and really did a great job with the buildings that we have here, and also built that new building. So we're really excited, and we appreciate everybody. I don't know if anybody remembers back to our very first video where we just introduced who we were. But if you look back at that video, and I'll put a card here, it's really fascinating because we've really grown in a very short time, and we've learned so much, which is what's really cool about it. But I'm going to go take a ride on the side-by-side with Ryan, and I hope everybody's having a beautiful day, and look forward for more adventures here and sharing them with all of you. And again, thank you to everybody for supporting us and subscribing and watching our videos. It's really been an incredible journey. I'm just in awe of the magnitude of it, quite honestly. I never thought that we'd have more than like the people we know subscribing to our channel. So that's really fascinating, and we love it, love it, love it. We're going to keep on doing this. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks again. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And if you like this video, please give us a like, thumbs up, and take care. Bye.